Let me get back with this.
And my dad's in Lake Country. Twin fuselage, and I was 8 years old.
I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. I know there's some basketball games going on, and I missed the last couple of holes of golf. Tonight we got it's a little four-part thing. We want to give you guys, this is the same PowerPoint that we're going to be doing at the town hall meetings Monday night, Thursday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and again April, I think, 17th. So there'll be 5 more of these all over Glynn County, trying to get everybody to understand what we were trying to do with the East Beach meetings. So this is the first of 6. We already did one, actually, I guess it was last Thursday, out at exit 29 for that group out there. And they did not get the slideshow. With that,
good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dale, and thank you, everyone, so much for coming out. It's so wonderful to see so many people who are engaged in their community. So today I'm just going to run you through a bunch of slides, and I'm going to compress probably an hour and a half in the data into hopefully 15 minutes. So I know I'll go fast, but I do think that background is really important, particularly on what the CBB does and how it all relates to parking. So with that, I'm going to go into my presentation. I'll be happy to take any questions. But really the reason I'm here today is for the second part of our mission. And that is because we advocate for the best quality visitor experience. And we do that to remain competitive. Anyone in business knows if you just market and you don't take care of your product, you'll ultimately fail. So not only do you have to market, but you have to protect the product that you market and make sure it's quality. So this is just some examples to show you how we market. Of course, we sell the serenity and the beauty and the nature of this place. The average age of our visitor, basically the last 2 years we've completed this survey, was about 47 years old. The majority of folks that are coming to visit us have children living at home. The other strong portion that come are empty nesters. When we look at household income, the average household income of our visitors is roughly between $116,000 and $119,000 a year, so a fairly affluent visitor, and there are some that make more than that and others that make less, but that is the average. And when we look at activities, you can see up at the top, not surprisingly, almost 70% of our visitors are going to the beach. We do attract a different business traveler. Unfortunately for those folks, they don't always get to go to the beach. So it all depends on why people are here, but certainly beach going is a top activity. And then you'll see people engaging in everything from history, water parks, cycling, biking, golf, fishing, etc. When we look at the time that they're spending, the average guest spends about 3.3 nights here in the Golden Isles, and they're spending about 4 nights away from home when they're on vacation. When we ask them where were they thinking about traveling to before coming here, you can see a number of the areas up here: Charleston, South Carolina, Hilton Head, St. Augustine, Myrtle Beach, Amelia Island, Destin, Florida, Outer Banks, so on and so forth. And then when we ask visitors what they liked about the area, these are also important things to note. They like the laid-back feel. Number one answer, they like scenery. So if you can imagine the plight that I have as the marketing guy who sells the peace and serenity, and the family shows up and says, okay, where do we park? We have to hike all our stuff. How far? And they go off on this journey. The other thing that's really interesting is when you take out not only rain days, but overcast days, this is what happens at Saturday and Sunday. You'll see that July and August meet capacity of that parking lot almost 100% of the time when you have a beautiful beach day. And we'll get more into the reasons why that occurs with the next presentation. That's pretty much what I have.
This is David Hanley. David's our Director of Community Development. And he was charged with the mission of putting together this next one.
100% looks like on the ground. This is Coast Guard parking lot from Coast Cottages. Then when you all try to get out of East Beach, you get these friendly folks cruising through the area looking for a parking space, probably someone's yard around East Beach area. This is the facility that we have currently. You can see that there are rows of parking coming in through there. There's scattered grass, but it's basically a dirt lot. It does not have any delineation on. There are poles laying in between the bays to divide the bays off. This is what it looks like from a horizontal view, looking into the facility. This is what happens with this facility on a not too unfrequent basis when it rains. This rain goes up here and through and goes over Coast Cottages. And it doesn't take too much rain to get into this thing. There's no real improvements to this facility as far as drainage. This is the study that was prepared for y'all that should show the improvements that were done by us, recommended by us or rule. I think this is what everyone got nailed out. This shows dramatic improvement. There was a parallel one for Massengale that I'll get into. Try to get the drainage situation under control using what is termed a rain garden or a bioswale, where we direct the rainwater into a large facility. It soaks in through, and then it goes out through a submerged pipe area. And we will also have areas where it will infiltrate in through and recharge the groundwater area. That's what it looks like in its cross-section. This is what it looks like in plain view. And in reality, this is what it comes out looking like, where you have plants and trees and everything going down through, and then this is more of a southern approach to that. So you get a divide going down through the parking area. And this also is how we're going to handle the stormwater area. This is the configuration for Massengale. You're going to see a bunch of blue items on this one. The proposals that we have are not only to do improvements to the parking, but actually to the park, put additional pavilions up, rebuild beach accesses, and generally and overall improve the attractive nature of the parks.
The parking lot as it is now doesn't really work. It's basically mud, and when it's not raining, there's a dust bowl effect. And I've got pictures at home where kids are coming off the beach with t-shirts over their face, but they want to breathe in all the dust from all the cars going in and out. So, you know, there are very few days where it's not either muddy or too dry. And so we've got a great island here. We've got a beautiful island. I don't think this is reflective of what we want to show our visitors, our guests, or even us as people who live here, that this is what we're going to go to. Anyway, with that, there is a fee that is associated with this, and I'll let Mr. Albers talk about that.
Expenses. If we were to issue a bond or take out a loan from a bank, the $4.8 million cost, and that's for both parking lots, 3.5% interest. Our interest rate's a little bit lower since it's tax exempt. Paid back over 15 years is an annual payment around $417,000. In terms of staff costs, we would have to obviously have staff to monitor who's getting who's paying the fee and who's not. So we estimate that the staff cost about $14,000 portion of their hotel motel tax to cover the shortfall. That's certainly an option. You know, the Board of Commissioners, while not officially voting on it, they have stated that they really are not interested in using general tax dollars for this program and improvements at East Beach and Bassett. They'd rather use some other means. Now, there may be enough additional revenue on the hotel motel tax side for the county to use a portion of that for this purpose. The hotel motel fees that we collect each year is about $5 million and growing. The county uses that money for tourism-related issues. We use it for recreation, we use it for lifeguard services on the beach, we use it for police, some for fire protection. So again, just to sort of recap, the proposed cost, when you consider the debt service, is about $15,000 a year. We estimate the revenue to be about $270-something thousand. Again, I think that's a conservative number. So we would have to use hotel, motel tax or some other non-general fund revenue source. Can a trolley system be used? So citizens or people from other communities park in some other place on St. Simon's Island and take a bus or a trolley to the beach. Okay, so the answer is yes, it could be. But from a practical standpoint, how would that work? Here's a real important question that I don't have an answer for, but I know it's out there. Will a fee cause people to leave the parking lot and park on the right of way in your community or somewhere else? I wish I could answer that.
We just did.
As you know, people are parking in your community now anyway.
Only on major holidays.
So,
Keeps them off Jekyll Island.
but I know that is a concern.
I feel like we're part of East Beach. That's why I'm here to speak on behalf of the homeowners there. But one of the underreported issues in that parking lot is the drainage. We've been suffering from the drainage comes through the land trust land between our neighborhood and the Coast Guard parking lot, underneath our houses and into our drainage along our street. And Commissioner Provenzano has been very helpful in that area. He's caused the county to build a berm that helps that situation. It's a Band-Aid, it's temporary, but my point is there's a serious drainage problem in that parking lot that needs to be resolved. And we all know there's a serious parking problem, and there's a serious aesthetic problem. It's really an awful presentation of our community to drive here and go into that dusty, dirty parking lot.
I live on East Beach. I'd like to go back to the $5 fee.
Sure.
If the $6 fee at Jackal has driven people away, and the point of one of the major impetuses for putting this parking system in is to solve the parking problem on East Beach. The $5 fee is not going to solve it. It's going to exacerbate it because it can force people who used to park there to seek parking elsewhere. I don't think it's going to solve the problem if you charge a fee.
As an East Beach homeowner, I understand your concern and I appreciate it. One of the thoughts processes going into this, and we need to talk about it more, not necessarily just tonight. But if you've got area folks from McIntosh and all these other areas, mainland, Glynn County, and even those of us that live on St. Simons. But if you live on the mainland, or if you were coming in from Camden or McIntosh or whatever, and you had a choice, it's $6 to park on Jekyll, or it's $5 to park at the beach on St. Simons. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to choose Jekyll. There's over 1,500. Sure.
Dale, I have 2 points. Number one is somebody studied how many cars, I think it was last 4th of July, from the Coast Guard station up across East Beach Causeway.
Correct.
And then the number of cars coming up Ocean Road. okay, it
terrible.
seems to me that the number of additional parking spaces that are being considered is about equal to that number of cars.
It's pretty close,
Close?
pretty close.
And the other thing then, if we could change, suggest a change in the ordinance that says parking on residential, in front of residential lots is not public parking for the purpose of the public coming to park their stuff there. If you come to anybody's house, right, you know where I live, you know my house, right? People can come and park right there, park in the grass, kill it, do whatever. And that's a flaw in the ordinance, I believe. And that can be cured very, very quickly by saying, from now on, there's no parking on residential streets.
Hang on, let him talk. Thank you.
Strikes me that the amount of additional parking you're going to, spaces you're going to put in are not really enough to get everybody off the streets.
Especially those who won't pay for it.
Especially those that won't pay for it.
A couple of.
And one more part of that.
Absolutely, go ahead.
What are y'all gonna do about Gould's Inlet?
It hasn't really been discussed much.
Well, it's an
And this
access
is a
to the
good group
beach.
to talk about it. I mean,
It's an
I think
access to the beach down there, and there's parking down there, and there are some folks that are pretty sensitive about having people park in the front lawn, but I can tell you, you're gonna get more and more of them going down there. You're being forced away from the primary part of our beach, but it's gonna go down to coastal.
Sure, it'd be my suggestion that we put a kiosk down there and charge for parking there also.
We did an informal poll with our East Beach members, and the paying issue, everybody, it was 2-to-1 back, responding, saying no, because Brantley County is still going to come and park in our yard. Now, and the two ends of East Beach, Bruce Drive, where we've got Gould's Inlet,
Sure.
is now a public safety issue. It has gotten so bad, it was this past weekend, you can't get a car through, much less an ambulance or a fire truck. They are just packed in there. So, I hope some kid isn't out there caught on the sandbar. Out there that way, they're gonna have to go around and go by the beach. Number one. Number two, the other end, first, second, third, those people down there really get it. They're hit so bad by these people. And they do park everywhere, and they do block driveways, and the alleyway entrances. It's unpleasant. The biggest issue in paving, the response was only if it is a permeable surface. And especially massive here, those old oak trees need every bit of water they can get. And you start putting asphalt over the extended roots out, you're just going to cook those roots. Gorgeous trees.
All right, I want to turn it over to David on the tree part, but I think if you remember from the thing on Massingale, no trees will be harmed there. They're already.
There's already, I know there's already a concrete or some kind of surface.
There are different surfaces that are through there,
You
and
put black asphalt, hot asphalt, and I'm telling you, those oak trees, and I think my fellow garden club members will support me on this, are going to suffer terribly.
Black asphalt will be blazingly hot.
I support you and I don't even live there.
Okay, well, my first thing, when we were talking about Massingale, and you're putting more roads, basically, driveways in for more parking through where the area where that's always been open, and the kids run around there and play, and you're gonna make it more dangerous for the families that you're putting all these kiosks up for them to go eat. And then they're gonna have to watch their kids so they don't get out in the road there and get run over.
good. Okay. Yes, sir.
No, I had my hand up, Mr. Provenzano.
I recognize this gentleman here.
I had my hand up first, but he said
Go ahead.
Mr. Provenzano, my name is Lisa Norton, and I want to concur with my neighbors at East Beach and tell y'all, because you may not know, I've lived in Kings Terrace now for 22 years, And when 4th of July and other major holidays come around, even Georgia, Florida weekend, as far as Kings Terrace, we have learned to live with the inconvenient parking of some of the guests that come onto the island. And I feel like as long as the Chamber of Commerce is going to push for us to become more of a Hilton Head environment, that we're just going to have to live with more traffic, because we all moved here because we love the charm of St. Simon's. And I personally don't want to see our parking lots paved. I don't want to go walk on the beach and have to deal with a parking meter. In England, you can't even go to the grocery store without using the parking meter, and I feel like we're becoming just too money hungry to really enjoy the island as it naturally stands.
Thank you. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Follow up to Patrick's statement a while ago. A lot of people that I talk to feel that most East Beach, St. Simon's, there's a whole lot of hotel tax, a whole lot of liquor stores, a whole lot of grocery stores, a whole lot of sales tax being earned by Glynn County. But a lot of people don't feel that revenue is coming back to East Beach in any way, shape, fashion, form in a ratio compared to what Brunswick is getting or what the total Glynn County is getting. And then you look at, you're talking about lifeguards, trash cleanup. We feel like beggars sometimes, people that I talk. I've been here a long time too. And somehow other commissioners, you're taking care of one side of the river and not this side of the river. And this is where you're making your money.
I certainly understand that this is where a lot of the tax money comes from, that we plan our budgets. I don't necessarily agree with the
How
fact
many trees are going to be cut down in Massengale Park to make way for the paving?
there were none.
I don't think there's any on that.
There are little X's on the plan.
There's 13 marked in X's that indicate on the map trees to be removed.
Well, if that's the case, then I wouldn't be in favor of that.
And my second question is, the landscaping that you show at Coast Guard Station, who's going to take care of that?
The landscaping up by the Coast Guard Station itself.
And the swales.
Oh, the swells? That'll be part of our public works. Yes, ma'am.
It's already not taken care of.
Yeah.
So are there 13 trees that are coming out or not?
I don't, there won't be 13 trees coming out.
How many trees are coming out?
I don't know that there are.
What are the S's?
I don't know.
Well, why don't you know? If you're not commissioner.
We're not, I will find out. I'll be able to tell you tomorrow night.
Why is our field so
Well, we just recommended a fee. It could be $3, it could be $10.
Why is it the same as kitchen? Therefore, it's an either or. Same as people say, well,
I think that's a very acceptable question, absolutely. I mean, staff was charged by the commissioners, give us a recommended fee, give us a recommended payment method, kiosks, arms, whatever, and do that. And so that's what we're bringing out to find out. I mean, I don't have a problem with a $6 fee. I mean, if that's what works, I mean, that's fine. Yes, sir.
I'd like to address this to you as well as to Scott. We talked about a 3-mile beach. How many people do we have here, or do we attract in before we lose what they came here for?
yeah.
That's
Elephant in the room. We can't hear you.
It gets so crowded and so unlivable that people won't come here anymore.
Okay, I'll help, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll help you understand that question, and if I get it wrong, please jump in. So, as I understood it, the question was asked, at what point do we have too many people that the very people that we're trying to bring here say, this isn't what I signed up for, or this is too much. And, you know, I want to address that comment as well as the comment about marketing us as Hilton Head. I would be happy to sit down with anyone at any time and go through our marketing, because I really believe that we are marketing the true essence of this place, and that is my job. And I I agree with you, in fact, and I agree with the statement that we want to be very careful. That's why I do thousands of surveys every year, because I want to measure guest satisfaction, because when you start to lose guest satisfaction, you start to lose your visitor. And
What about resident satisfaction?
I would say that resident satisfaction and guest satisfaction are very closely mirrored.
Mr. Smith?
This has been billed as a town hall meeting. I'm used to town hall meetings, and usually at some point, the town is asked to vote on something, or to at least show their hands. For instance, tonight, how many of these people, this is something you might ask, Commissioner, how many of the people who are sitting here, who live on East Beach, want to see this happen, want to see the paving and the payment scheme?
I'd like to refer to the East Beach people. This is really their meeting, Julian, and if they...
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you to ask the people on East Beach.
And when we get, yeah, that might be something we can do. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Ms. Gunn?
I just have two questions. Number one, I don't understand what the LCD money is for. Can you explain that to me?
Okay, this is an East Beach
I
Homeowners
know,
meeting.
it's just a whole bunch of
Talk to me
money.
tomorrow night at the town hall meeting for that.
Okay, and the second thing is, I don't live on East Beach, I used to live on the beach, so I know the problems that you have with people parking in your areas. Isn't it possible, and I do not know if this is legal or not, but I think that as long as you put a sign in your yard that tells you what tow truck company will be coming to your house, then when people park on your private property, you can call a tow truck to come take them away.
Well, that's correct, but unfortunately, where a lot of the people are parking is in county right of way. And that's where we have the issue that we need to deal with as a group. And you're right. Yes, sir.
I would like to address that exact point and follow up on what Leslie Carlson said about the parking on the county right of way. Everybody knows who I am, knows that I'm a pathway advocate. And when they're parking on the right of way from all the way from East Beach Causeway up to Ocean during busy season up to 10th and 11th, they're parking on the pathway. The pathway becomes impassable. It doesn't bother me personally. Everybody knows I can ride on the street. But Mr. McClade had a big glossy picture up there inviting people to come down here and ride the bicycles. Cycling was what, 6th or 7th in the thing people came here for, as I recall it in the chart?
35% of people use their bicycles while they're here.
And so what we're doing on those days, the overflow traffic is closing the pathway on Ocean and the pathway on East Beach. And I have to say, I've been very disappointed in the Glynn County Police Department. What you've got here is a public safety issue. So the people have their children and their cooler carts with the beach umbrellas walking on Ocean and the East Beach Causeway. And we all know my East Beach neighbors, plus the tourists, speed a lot on Ocean. And needless to say, the traffic on East Beach Causeway. I just wanted to make that point, and I've been very disappointed in this.
Also, the bike paths, when they were originally built, it was part county money and part money donated by East Beach residents. And there are not supposed, I mean, it's 4 inches of concrete, nothing reinforced or anything. And the cars, the trucks, the yard people park on the bike paths and are destroying it. There's supposed to be no motorized vehicles on a bike path, sitting still, parked, or riding.
Well, it's also a pedestrian path.
That's what I'm saying, but it's just when somebody is parking on it, it's blocking the pedestrians and the bicyclists away from getting through that.
Did I see somebody over here? Yes, sir. I mean, I think in order to get my vote, we've got to do something where we can put stripes down so we can define where those spaces are. Otherwise, why do anything
If
else?
you put the stripes just on those logs and you made a point that these are individual parking spaces, you're halfway there for maybe 10% of the cost or 5% of the cost.
That's something we can look at. I'm not sure that would work, but I don't know. What do I know?
Time's up.
Good.